The brother of a man shot and killed while on the job in the East Village sits down with 10 News to talk about it.
Him being gone is going to create a huge, unreplaceable void.
The last thing his brother told him before the deadly shooting.
Plus, that's not supposed to be there. A tip from a viewer sends 10 News to the Bay where we alerted the port to the whole couch sitting in the water. The massive response to cleaning it up. But right now, the community is turning out to remember a man shot and killed near the homeless shelter where he worked as a security guard.
A vigil for Ernie Buchanan just getting underway at the Alpha Project's bridge shelter in the East Village. Buchanan was walking back from a break Saturday night when someone shot him several times and ran. Police are not releasing any information about the investigation, but they are looking at surveillance cameras right now in that area. Alpha Project CEO Bob McElroy says security is a challenge at that location and that they may hire an armed guard. But tonight, he says the focus is on Buchanan and what he meant to the community.
They all loved him and respected him. They felt safe with him. They felt that they could talk to him. He as a friend. A tremendous loss for the community as a whole, but certainly for our team and our residents.
Now the Alpha Project is raising money to help Buchanan's family.
Our 10 News reporter Natay Holmes sat down with Buchanan's brother, who says that Buchanan died doing what he loved, helping and serving others.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe it.
The feeling is indescribable for the family of Ernest Buchanan, known to his family and friends as Ernie, who was shot and killed outside the Alpha Project's newest bridge shelter. A father of 6 and grandfather, Buchanan worked at the shelter as a security guard since it opened in early November.
His words was, yeah, I like my job and I like the hours and brick bro, things were good.
Brother Mark Forte says that was the last thing Buchanan told him just a day before he was killed, the shock just settling in.
So for anybody to shoot him, he wasn't expecting any, he had no issues down there. It was good for him.
This isn't the first time that gun violence has hit the family. Back in June, Buchanan's son Eric was shot while at a party in La Jolla. Forte says he talked to Eric, who was doing great physically, but is now reeling from his father's death.
He just prayed that his dad's soul makes it to heaven.
The family says Buchanan loved to joke and have a good time. He even served as a coach for his son's football teams.
He loves football, he loves sports, he loves participating, he loves coaching. Him being gone is going to create a huge, unreplaceable void.
Forte says he hopes his brother's death sparks change in the community and for individuals to put down the guns.
We must look out for one another. And if we're not looking out for one another, we are failing ourselves.
Natay Holmes, 10 News.
The family says they are currently in the process of making funeral arrangements.
Police arrested a woman who they say led them on a chase through San Diego this afternoon. That chase eventually ended on the 5 near Nobel Drive in La Jolla. Officers do say they had to break out the windows of that Mercedes to arrest the woman who was inside. They say that pursuit started around 3 o'clock on Del Cerro Boulevard when the woman didn't pull over for a traffic stop. Officers then learned the woman was wanted on a felony warrant. It's not clear what that warrant was for, but luckily no one was hurt.
Well, as we get ready to ring in the new year with celebrations across San Diego, rideshare services will be busy as people try to get home safely at the end of the night. 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala is live from the gas lab. Mimi, a local lawyer representing victims of Uber and Lyft sex assault, say many assaults happen during the holidays.
And Vanessa, he says several of his own clients were attacked during Halloween, Christmas, and New Year's Eve before. A lot of people are going to be here at the Gaslamp District celebrating tomorrow night. So he's reminding everyone to be extra vigilant so they make it home safely.
I've never felt unsafe.
And many feel the same way as Ariel.
Late at night, I would use it.
Lyft and Uber are convenient ways to get home, especially for those participating in New Year's Eve celebrations.
People will be drinking and trying to do the right thing and calling an Uber, calling a Lyft.
But it still is what it is. You're getting into a car with a stranger.
If I'm by myself, I'll have them drop me off, especially if I'm going home, like maybe 2 doors down.
And while most rides end well, unfortunately, as we've seen before here in San Diego, some drivers end up getting charged and convicted for sex crimes against their passengers.
The problem is that a lot of these predators are attracted to this platform because It's a situation where you have vulnerable women who have been drinking and these predators don't have any supervision.
Attorney Steve Estes' law firm represents more than 100 women across the country who say they were sexually assaulted by Uber or Lyft drivers.
We get dozens of calls a week.
Estes says several of his clients were attacked last year during the holidays, like New Year's. He and his partner have worked closely with the victims and developed a list of best practices passengers can follow to stay safe.
It's better if you have a buddy system, if you have someone go with you.
And if that's not possible, he recommends staying on the phone with someone for the whole ride.
If I'm leaving a friend's house, I'm usually on FaceTime with them until I get home.
Estes says never sit in the front seat. Know about the emergency buttons available in both apps, and always make sure the child locks aren't on and you can easily get out of the car.
We've had people who have been kidnapped essentially in these rides and then ultimately raped, and they can't get out.
Now, of course, drivers can also be put in dangerous situations. They're encouraged to pay attention to passengers' behavior, the passengers' ratings, and also let friends or relatives know when they are driving. Reporting in the Gaslamp District, Mimi Alcala, 10 News.
All right, Mimi, thank you. We likely will not see rain to end 2019, but we could be in for another cold night out there. Our meteorologist, Angelica Campos, is tracking these potentially cool temperatures. Very cool.
That's right, cool and windy for many tonight. So let's take a look at what brought the clouds today. A storm system just to our south, which will continue tracking farther from our area, keeping us dry. The winds already gusting up to 51 miles per hour in Alpine. And we know we've seen a lot of rain, so with the ground being soggy, sometimes those winds can be strong enough, even over 45, to bring down trees and power lines. So now we're looking at that danger zone. 51 miles an hour in Alpine, most likely expecting that wind to continue into tomorrow. Expected to peak early in the morning between 5 and 6. So already having those winds over 50 is definitely a concern. Our wind advisory will be in effect until 10 a.m. It includes inland communities, foothills, and mountains. By tomorrow afternoon, it will start to improve. I'll pinpoint when we'll start to see temperatures warming up.
All right, Angelica, jurors will be back nearly 1 month from now to continue deliberating 12 counts against a La Jolla restaurant owner accused of rape. The jury went home today after deadlocking on all 12 counts. Earlier this month, jurors found 61-year-old Daniel Dorado guilty of nearly 24 counts related to sexual assault. He was charged with drugging and raping several women. The convictions were related to 4 of the alleged assaults. The jury will be back on January 24th to continue deliberations until a verdict on the remaining counts is reached.
Well, right now people have gathered for a vigil for the 2 people killed in a church shooting in Texas. These are live pictures right now. In the meantime, investigators are working to figure out why a man opened fire inside that church yesterday. A member of the church's volunteer security team opened return fire, killing the man. Jack Wilson is a former reserve deputy and has been teaching congregants how to shoot as part of the church's security measures. He says he doesn't want the praise.
I don't see myself as a hero. I see myself as doing what needed to be done to take out the evil threat.
The gunman had been to the church several times before and was arrested in 2016 for unlawful possession of a weapon in New Jersey. His sister says she believes her brother was on a suicide mission.
People at the Las Colinas Women's Jail in Santee may have been exposed to tuberculosis. The county says a person infected with TB visited the jail from August 5th to December 6th. The Sheriff's Department now offering free testing to those who may have been exposed. Symptoms include cough, fever, night sweats, and weight loss. It can be treated and cured with antibiotics.
Firefighters kept flames from spreading to a home after a shed caught fire in Webster this morning. This happened around 9:30 on Beach Street. Firefighters say there was heavy smoke and fire coming from a shed behind the home. They say it had combustible materials inside, like paint thinners and construction materials. Crews then worked quickly to stop the fire from spreading, and no one was hurt.